Hello, Dr. Brant Hulsebus here, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is my little podcast that I do when someone has a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care. I try to answer. I'm a chiropractor here in Rockford, Illinois. I'm a proud graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic, and I'm happy to be the team chiropractor of the Rockford IceHogs. Let's dive into it. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a regular on my podcast, thank you. I appreciate that. And if you are, last week we talked a lot about headaches and like neck injuries and how they lead to headaches and how chiropractic care helps with headaches. If you don't know about that or you're curious about it, just go back and listen to last week's. Wherever you're watching or listening or reading this, it'll be right there waiting for you. But today I want to talk about my other clinic. I'm a chiropractor here in Rockford, Illinois. Been the same practice my grandpa worked out of and my dad worked out of. But I have another clinic, and it's inside the Rockford IceHogs arena. I've been the team chiropractor for the Rockford IceHogs since 2004. On top of that, I've taken care of a lot of other Rockford, Illinois famous teams that we've had and are no longer with us. They've since moved on, but I went so far back as taking care of the Rockford Lightning basketball team. If you remember them, I know you're as old as I am. I also took care of the indoor soccer team, the Rockford Rampage. It was neat taking care of soccer players from all over the world. A lot of them from South Africa and Europe. It was neat seeing those guys. Took care of a few baseball teams. I think here in Rockford, the ownership of our baseball team changes about every 3 years. And so taking care of a couple different baseball teams and leagues. Down in Marinelli, when they used to play downtown, took care of the Rockford Foresters down there. And then after the Foresters up and left, about 3 years, I took care of the Aviators. After they left, about 3 years, we moved on. So we took care of some baseball teams, and I've taken care of all kinds of athletes, you name it. We've taken care of several Olympic athletes. Now, they all might be hockey players, but they're Olympic athletes. And a lot of Division I athletes, and Division II and Division III athletes, they all count. Taking care of a lot of them. All different sports, from bowling to golf to basketball, you name it. We've taken care of just about everything here. And chiropractic athletes go hand in hand. I'm part of the Pro Hockey Chiropractic Society. With the exception of the Montreal Canadiens, every hockey team has a chiropractor in the NHL, the AHL, and I believe all the ECHL, the league below the AHL. Those of you who don't know hockey, NHL is what you watch. That's the Chicago Blackhawks, and that's the Boston Bruins. But they have teams right below them that feed them players. That's us. That's the Rockford IceHogs. I've been taking care of them. Then we have a league below us that feeds us players and they take our players, and that's the ECHL. For us, that's Indianapolis, the Fuel. They supply us players. And it's a lot of fun taking care of athletes. It's a lot of fun because, you see, the athlete, their body is their product, whether they're a professional athlete or whether they're somebody going for a scholarship. Now, once they get to college, their body is no longer their only product. Now, hopefully, their college education becomes their product. We did that to get this. But a professional athlete, the only thing they have invested in their entire future is their body. Take care of athletes is a lot of fun. A lot of fun because they really want to know, what can I do to move quicker, faster, and react better? That's all they want. And they want to stay on the ice or on the field. What can I do to prevent injuries? In chiropractic, our biggest thing is keeping healthy people healthy. So when you give us somebody that's working out good, eating right, working with other healthcare providers like physical therapists, athletic trainers, and stuff like that, and they're really tuned and they're really disciplined. It's so much fun working with them because we can really elevate them to the next level. Our biggest thing about working with athletes is trying to keep them on the field, work with the other people they work with, and give them that edge. There's a lot of research papers out there that show people under chiropractic care have faster reaction times, jump higher, all this other fun stuff, maybe run a little bit faster. But I think all those you can manipulate that kind of research to show anything you want to. I just know the guys that I take care of do better after I take care of them. And so I go to the ice hog game, do the majority of my work before the game, not after. A lot of people think I'm doing a lot of work after the game. And I do work after the game. But they all want to skate faster, react quicker. They want to see me before they hit the ice, not afterwards. I tell my golfers, hey, I golf, I had a little bit of a back pain. I don't know if I should come see you before or wait till afterwards. And I always tell them, you can see me once before, 6 times after. It's always easier to go in healthy than it is to try to go in and play hurt and then think you're going to get better by stressing it the entire weekend. That's crazy talk. So for us, it's not about treating the back pain. A lot of people laugh. They said, oh, you're the IceHogs chiropractor. I bet they keep you busy smashing each other against the boards. That's not why I'm there. I'm there to help them get adjusted before the game. Different athletes in different sports have different issues, just like different people, different jobs have different issues. If I'm a hockey player, I hold the hockey stick. I got one shoulder up higher than the other shoulder drips down. That's how you hold the hockey stick. And then I got my hips that balance me out. That's how I move the puck around. If I'm a lacrosse player, same thing. I got a high shoulder, low shoulder. If I'm a basketball player, I got one shoulder in front of the other shoulder when I shoot hoops. If I'm a soccer player, I have a dominant leg that I kick with and a non-dominant leg I kick with. And if I'm a bowler, you're a mess. You bowlers are a mess. You bowlers just keep using the same joints over and over again because you do the same action repetitively compared to a rodeo guy, right? A rodeo guy, who knows what's going to be wrong with them. And if I'm a golfer, I'm always putting the same torque on the exact same hip over and over again. I don't ever switch hit in golf. So we have repetitive actions, we have repetitive posture, and then we have the variable that's an athlete, especially if you're playing a contact sport. There's going to be a whole bunch of different variables. So the question I get from a lot of athletes, I just want to feel stronger, more stable, more steady, and the next day I want to feel better too. So what we do with our athletes is we actually co-care almost all of them. I always recommend the ones who aren't working with a strength conditioning coach that they go down the street to our friends at Movement Fitness, where they work with athletes staying on the field and getting them back into play. So we have these working relationships where I'll make adjustments and corrections, and I'll notice that they're not holding that adjustment and correction, and I'll call the strength conditioning coach and say, hey, I need you to work on their hip flexors. I need you to work on their piriformis muscle. Hey, I want you to look at their trap on the left side. I think there's something more going on there because it keeps happening. Take a look at the way they're playing their sport that could be creating the issues I have to keep adjusting. And then the athlete gets those corrections made between me doing the chiropractic adjustment, the strength coach doing their part, and maybe the coach, the skills coach doing their part. We correct that. Now the athlete performs better, stays healthier, and has less injuries. That's how that goes down. Yeah, if you're an athlete, you hurt yourself, you're going to need me, right? Of course you're going to need me. We're going to do the chiropractic adjustment like we would with anybody else with, say, sciatica or things like that. But why not just not get hurt? Why not just perform good? Why not just keep skating full time? You never know when the right college scout's going to be there watching you, or the right game's going to happen when you can excel. I got to meet Dr. Nick Athens. He did something really cool for chiropractic. Back in the 80s, Joe Montana was having some neck pain. He was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. This is before chiropractors were welcomed on the sidelines. And Joe Montana wanted Nick Athens at the game to get him an adjustment before the game if his neck bothered him, because he knew that the medication wouldn't make him the quarterback he needed to be. He knew the massage therapy wasn't going to make the correction he needed to make for his neck and his throwing arm. He knew that chiropractor was the best thing for him. So they gave Dr. Athens a press pass so he could sneak into the game and get Joe Montana adjusted. And wouldn't you know it, when it happened, the TV cameras caught it. I remember my dad being all excited, like, they showed a live chiropractic adjustment on TV. So that was that chiropractor's one moment to shine and have his big moment for the chiropractic profession. But your athletes had the same thing. They're going to have this one game. Maybe they get this matchup where they can really excel and break records and get their name out there. And they need to be finely tuned and ready to go whenever that happens. Now, myself, I'm part of the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council. We are working on certifications, and there's a lot of them out there to let people know that this is a sports chiropractor. This is somebody that adjusts patients differently because they have sports coming. If you're about to compete, I adjust you one way. If you're done competing, I adjust you a different way. I adjust the IceHogs one way before the game, and I adjust them differently after the game. When a chiropractor can put you on your side and do a lot of twisting and turning, they can exhaust your stretch receptors, and those could take 24 hours to 72 hours to recover. And they can actually make you feel nice and loose. Now, if you're a patient that sits behind a desk all day and you're all stiff and rigid, you need that. You come to see me because you're behind a desk all day. You're not moving, you have no range of motion. You need that flexibility. We don't worry about that because the odds of a desk worker getting in a checking incident like a hockey player are much less. But a hockey player, they don't need to feel loose and sloppy when they hit the ice. They need to feel strong and compact. So we have a different technique that we use before the game to line them up, make the adjustments that need to be made in the subluxations to make their back move well and function, but then also to make them stronger. So when they go out there, they feel more secure, more solid. After the game, we adjust in the way we adjust the patients in the office. We go in and do the normal adjustment. So if you are an athlete, if you think that you have the competition, or if you have reoccurring problems as an athlete, that the physical therapist, the orthopedic doctor, and the sports doctor, everybody else you've seen hasn't helped you, it's time to go see a chiropractor. If you have a question about that, don't ask the physical therapist, don't ask the orthopedic doctor, don't ask the athletic trainer. None of them are trained in chiropractic. Ask a chiropractor. Only a chiropractor can answer those questions for you. And you might want to look for somebody like myself with certifications or part of different sports studying. I'm part of, like I said, the Pro Hockey Chiropractic Society, and I'm also part of the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council. Look for people that study with athletes, because it is different. Just like it's different taking care of a pregnant woman than taking care of a 70-year-old man. You want to have somebody that knows how to work with athletes. And you also want to find someone that has communications with the other coaches and stuff like that I talked about, that I call and work with. Because when an athlete comes in, you're dealing with a lot of different vectors and a lot of different people working together. And if they're not working together, it's like having a basketball team that nobody wants to pass the ball to each other. They don't do very good. So you want to find a good team of doctors that are willing to work and talk to each other. Not all medical doctors are willing to talk to a chiropractor. Not all chiropractors are willing to talk to a medical doctor. So make sure you find a team that will work together what's best for you, not their ego. Best for you. All right, if you have a question about everything I just talked about, or if you'd like to know more about sports and chiropractic or anything about chiropractic, leave a message and come back to us and we'll talk more about this. I talked a little bit about what I like to call hockey back with the high shoulder and soccer hips. Maybe we should talk a little bit about ergonomics and how you sit and carry yourself, because odds are most of you listening to this aren't professional athletes, but the odds are all of you do have a chair and a desk. Come back next week, we'll talk a little bit about ergonomics.